crazy as it may sound, I was super excited. Being because I've never worked a hurricane, I have never worked a command center. And so I thought and found it to be an experience or an opportunity to experience the other side of what we offer to our customer, which is service. And so I was very excited to be a part of the team that will ride out the hurricane.
During the storm, I would have been home with my family, and I can recall getting one of the calls from customer operations, which is our T&D compound, from one of the individuals that were locked down to say the water's coming up. The first call, they were okay, and then about the second or third call that would have come in would have been, if I don't make it, I just want you to know that, I love you and you've been a good friend.
Everything changed Sunday evening. Weather changed, winds picked up, water started coming. And so our command center, which was also our sleeping room, because we had all of our mats and everything set up because we figured, we were riding out the hurricane and this was where we were gonna be. And in no time, water got to our ankle, water started rising. We had to flee the area, so all of our prep work, all of our laptops, all of our pens, all of our papers, all of everything started floating away.
We really fed for their safety, and then we fed for the safety of those that worked with us.
Even with the preparation that we did have, we were not prepared, I would say, for the surges and the large, vast amount of water.
I'm looking through the glass and I'm watching every single vehicle that Grand Bahama Power Company owned go underwater. And I'm standing up and I'm like, this is not good.
Dorian was bigger than expected, and it was more than planned. Even when I got a call from one of my employees within the planning department, I can recall her last call was, the phone is dying, and if you don't send help now, we're gonna die, up here in the roof. So all of that was what, I had to kind of deal with and then try to manage as a leader, and then also as a wife and a mother, to be able to deal with my employees, but also be able to be there for my two kids.
My lead said to me, guys, it's not looking good. And I need us to get into a mental space to come to an understanding that we may have to evacuate, we may have to go out and find safety. And at that point, reality sat in. And I said, I know how out there look. There was no way for us to get outside. The back door to cops was our only exit. The water inside was 3 to 4 feet. The water outside, in my imagination, was higher.
In the middle of Dorian, I want to say probably day 2, I can recall we were all home after the roof would have fallen in 3 of the rooms, and we heard a banging on the window. And at that point, it became even more devastating or overwhelming, because I would have seen my twin brother hopping over the gate. And he was like, water's coming in everywhere. And he was like, we just need clothes, for his 2-year-old, which was my niece. And so at that point, all we could do was, just pray. Just pray, because I think at that point also, Dorian wasn't moving. It was the first stationary hurricane, So at that point, it was just pray. And then even when it was time to get back to work, it was more so, let's see how our employees are doing. Let's make sure they're all safe, survived, and in the right sound mental space, because that's critically important.
So my role in Hurricane Dorian was the T&D, Transmission and Distribution Logistics Lead, responsibility for getting everything on island and getting everything exported back to the U.S.
The role I would have played in Hurricane Dorian would have been the role of substation lead.
I actually was the EOC, the Urgent Emergency Operations Command lead. And so what I was responsible for was assisting in the planning, the execution of the day-to-day restoration, ensuring we get our crews out on the road, ensuring resources are there, and just getting that support. So most of the team worked along with me as I led those efforts.
Here at Grand Bahama Power Company, we got some of the brightest and best individuals, smartest individuals in the world. And it's important to understand that once you share the same goals and the same focus, you're able to get things done in a rather safe and efficient way.
The first couple of days we worked off of cell phones, Gmail and WhatsApp. That's how all orders were processed the first couple of days in. Then we started to think outside the box, write on paper, get highlighters, get laptops in, just bring in things so we can start to bring some type of normalcy to the island, working around the clock and still working around the clock to get everybody back up and running. So we did a tremendous job. We worked together as a team and we communicated and we thought of one another first, and that's important.
We had 0 incidents, 0 accidents, 0 injuries, and to change one thing, right now to get those results, I wouldn't do it.
Dorian has made me come to a level of appreciation of being a part of the Grand Bahama Power Company's family.
It really brought us together, in a time where everyone was, going through a whole lot. I think the fact that we're able to do it together, as a family, that really brought everything home for me.
I think my colleagues did a tremendous job in such little time with limited resources. No fleet, all of our buildings were damaged, all of our infrastructure, our IT equipment.
I feel overwhelmed with joy. There's a passion there that wasn't there before, and it's just being able to restore hope, confidence to people, because electricity is kind of, that must-have necessity to be able to do everything else. So there's a passion there in knowing that we're the ones that's bringing hope, normalcy back to customers, back to the lives of individuals within the community. And then knowing that we're not just doing it, but we're doing it more resilient, in a stronger way, a better way.
So as a wife,
as a first-time father,
as an employee of Grand Bahama Power Company and a resident,
as a mother and a leader of the Grand Bahama Power Company,
together we will
continue to reflect,
reimagine,
and rebuild the island of Grand Bahama together.